Some of that clay.
So, feet like that. Take your half a pace forward. So if you want to protect your hearing, the phones are a lot better. If you close the gun there and you pull the trigger now, that's going to come all the way back at you, or you're going to get wood back at you.
Let's do it.
So if you like to take your gun out, or first thing, put your glasses on and put your earphones on.
Glasses on.
If you like to take your gun out, we're remembering how we taught you how to take that gun out the slip.
Yes, I completely remember.
Remember, only open it to about there. Take the gun out.
Have to
That's it.
hold it. Flicky thing.
Take the gun out.
Now, put it on your toe.
And if you just drop the slip behind you. And the only other thing I will introduce you is we have a gun rack. And when you if you either carry it, personally, I like to hold my gun because it's your thing you bought. I like to hold it, but you can put it into the rack. So what you don't want to do is that, because nobody else knows that's empty. So the gun is open, gun is closed, in the rack. When the gun comes out, point into the sky, break it, come out. So that is the only other thing that you want to. Personally, I don't like putting my gun in a gun rack, because if you put your gun in a gun rack at some shooting grounds, if it's busy on a Saturday, if it's really busy or something like that, there's loads of guns in that gun rack. All you got to do is somebody come along and touch it. If you've just spent £1,500 or £1,000 your gun, it's gone. So what we're going to do first is we're going to come back onto the stand. I'm going to shoot a very basic target like the other one, just to see what you remember, what I've taught you on the first stand.
Am I shooting underneath it again?
Just all I would is just let it get to your kill point, which is right at the top. That's the easiest place. Look at the bottom edge, pull the trigger. The biggest, most important thing you want to do is you close the gun into your safe. So if you pull the trigger now, it's perfectly safe. If you close the gun there and you pull the trigger now, that's going to come all the way back at you, or you're going to get wood back at you. So always close that gun into your line of view. So if you do pull the trigger, it's perfectly safe. You didn't film that, did you?
Oh my god. Are you not allowed to do that, I guess?
No.
It's very not allowed.
It's very not allowed.
How come?
Well, there could be anything in there.
Could be anything in that water. So you could have just killed the fish.
I know.
But if you think about it, if you'd done that towards there,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to go through there, but that will probably all come back at you.
That's a good question.
Is if you're on a game day and you do that, pointing a gun down or closing a gun downwards as a dog, or
Yeah.
a child, or a
So my dog is a picking up dog. If you'd done that, you would have shot my dog, which you would not have been.
Meg.
Yeah. So that is why, I mean, a lot of people close the gun stock to barrel, and I think that's the most dangerous thing ever. If you close it there, so if you'd done that, so,
I'd have shot in there, wouldn't I?
yeah, so it would have been, so if you think it's about feet, so close your gun there, so if you pull the trigger now, go on, pull the trigger. But it's not, and you will, in a competition.
Did you have your hand behind that then?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
But in competition, you will accidentally, you might pull the trigger because of the whole pressure, the whole excitement of the whole thing. So if you think to yourself, if you always close the gun there, if you do pull the trigger by accident, you're not doing anything dangerous, are you?
Just a pigeon or...
Close the gun up, push it away, and remember you're going to do it on your own this time, thinking what we've just done. Stick your bum out. Call Paul when you're ready.
Pull, please.
So where did you miss that clay? Take the gun down. Where did you think you missed it?
Under it?
No, you didn't.
Oh.
You missed it straight on the left-hand side.
Okay.
All right, so this time I want you to look at the bottom right-hand corner,
How did you know I missed it on the left?
because I can see the shot. All right.
Is that because you can see the pellets slightly as they come out? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
just a blur.
and again, so bottom right-hand corner, head on the wood, stick your bum out. Ready? Bottom right, bottom right. Was I right?
You're absolutely right, yeah.
And both eyes open,
Both eyes open? Yeah.
head on the wood. See, your head was crooked then.
Yeah. Felt that one, that was good.
So now what I'm going to do is we're going to shoot your first pair. So I'm going to put 2 cartridges in. We're going to shoot First one, hang on 2 seconds, we're going to shoot first one, then we're going to release the trigger. A lot of people do keep this trigger pulled. It's not a machine gun, it's a shotgun. Pull it, let the second one come up, release it, pull it again. If you hit your first pair, Alex will give you a $5.
Make it tenner. Well, I felt like there was a hand behind me though, guiding me in the right direction a little bit.
So I didn't touch this. The reason why I put my hand there is to keep your weight forward. It's not to guide you, because if not, your weight comes back onto the back foot. So if I just leave the cartridge in there, if I just close that gun up, head on the wood. So stick your bum out. So if you look when you come up, if I'm not pushing you forward, you automatically come back. Yeah. And that is when the recoil comes back. Yeah. So you need to keep yourself there. So that's all I'm doing, is I'm pushing you forward so your weight is always forward. Cool, pull when you're ready.
Please. Really enjoyed that. I'm really struggling to get my head in the right place each time.
You will, you'll get there. Piece of this game, isn't it?
I'll tell you something that's interesting. I don't know if I've told you this. I can feel it here after a while holding the gun.
So if you think about it, that gun is about 7.5 pounds. If you go down the gym and you hold a weight 7.5 pounds like that, when you've not done it for a long time, it feels heavy in it. And you're using muscles you haven't used. So you're basically holding the weight out there.
Yeah.
And that is where, especially some of the competitive shooters, when they're shooting 50,000 shells to get into a competition, the Olympic shooters, that's when a lot of people think, it's not physical shooting, but a lot of people actually go down the gym 3 or 4 days a week to get themselves strong to shoot. So the gun's going to be there. So that's your pickup point, hold point, bottom edge, pull the trigger reasonably quickly. Head on the wood, stick your bum out. Ready? Now, good, and that was underneath it. So this time I want you to imagine you're going to look straight at the bottom of that clay and you're going to kill it. Ready? Now. When I say now, you pull the trigger. Ready? Now what was the difference?
I'm not really sure, to be honest.
So all I did was I pushed you up. So your eyes are going with it, but the body and the gun are not working together. So literally just let the hands go with the eyes.
Is it meant to be hurting my jaw a little bit?
That's because you're ramming your head down too much. So you know I said to you first about you taking the head off the gun?
Yeah.
That's as bad as ramming it down.
Yeah,
so it's literally just chubby chops. So don't need to pull the gun in like a machine gun. Everything goes forward to your cheek.
Okay.
Push it away. Good. Ready? And again. So that was over the top of it. So this time, come down a little bit more. Ready? There we go.
Just clipped it. I really struggle with that one.
Right, now we're going to do going away bird, followed by the incomer. I want you to kill a pair and then we're going to finish. Head on the wood.
Right, birdies.
Ready?
Game over. I can do that one.
We're not finished until we kill a pair. Ready? Cover it. There we go.
Thank you. Is that my first pair?
Yep.
That's cool.
One more pair. Up the left hand side. And that's because that left eye is slightly stronger.
Yes, yeah, it is.
Can you wink that eye?
No, I can only wink that eye.
Oh, don't bother then. Head on the wood. Ready? operate the gun.
Thank you. Why is it when you see in the films they cock a shotgun? What are they doing?
That's a pump action. Forget that completely. Yeah, forget that completely different. So that was a lesson. Did you enjoy that? Did you get out of that lesson what you wanted for it?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Let's put the gun back in the slip. We'll have a gently walk back to the clubhouse, and then we'll have a little chat about where you can go and how you can go from there.
Amazing. Thank you.
That was your first lesson. Have a go at clay shooting lesson. Any questions? What did you think about it?
I thought it was great. I'd definitely come again. I'd like to understand a little bit more about the different sort of guns you can have and the different shapes and fit your body and how that all works.
So that's the basics. That's the first thing you do on a shooting lesson. I don't tend to get too complicated on your first lesson, because the biggest thing you need to do on your first lesson is you need to go out. It doesn't hurt you, which it did. You need to enjoy it, and you need to be having a smile on your face, and then you'll come back. So if you do anything, if I had got really complicated with you, you would have thought, oh, I've left here and he's told me so many different things, I don't know what I'm doing. So that is the whole idea of having the initial lesson, is just to get you interested and get you seeing what you have to do, how you can work on it, and where you go. So from there on, the thing I would recommend doing is have half a dozen lessons, apply for your shooting certificate, your shotgun certificate, and when you're waiting for that, book yourself at a local shooting school, have half a dozen shooting lessons, and get that basics drilled into you. So it's the same thing. Same as when you're playing tennis, and then within those half a dozen lessons, then you can look at guns, look at kit. A lot of shooting schools have a membership scheme. So you join the membership, you get a free lesson, you get discount in their stores. So, and that is really the way to do it. So almost forget about buying a gun to start with. Buy a gun within the lessons, because then you can try 3 or 4, 5, 6 different guns and make sure that that gun that you're looking at fits you correctly.
How often should you go shooting for you to sort of...
Depends where you want to go. You've got to decide whether you want to be a club shooter, just the occasional Sunday morning. You can go down, find a little local gun club on a Sunday morning, shoot 50 clays, go down the pub. Whether you want to be more of a club shooter, where you can come find yourself a little shooting school, or like you can go and have a round of golf, you can come and have a round of clays, or whether you want to be a serious competitive shooter. If you want to be a serious competitive shooter and go into the Olympic discipline mode, then you're going to shoot a hell of a lot, 50,000 shells. So it depends on A, what you can afford, and B, where you want to go in your sport. And don't be pressurised to go into game shooting or into competitive shooting, which is the expensive end. Go to where you can afford to go, and go to where you enjoy, and then see where it takes you. And that's the same thing with when you're thinking about buying your first kit and your first gun. Set yourself a budget. Don't be afraid. If you've only got £500 to spend, you can get a gun and some kit for 500 quid. If you want £5,000 to spend, you can get a kit to that. Set yourself a budget, and within those half a dozen lessons, buy your kit and buy your gun within those half a dozen lessons. And that's really where you want to be looking at and where you want to be going on your journey into shooting. That is my first shooting lesson with a novice shooter. I hope you enjoyed this program. If there's anything you'd like to find out about having a lesson or getting into clay shooting for your first time, please comment below, and we will do our best to answer your questions and push you into the right direction of where you need to go. I hope you enjoyed this program. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. If you close the gun there and you pull the trigger now, that's going to come all the way back at you, or you're going to get wood back at you.